What is that petrol emotion?
Well, because four of the band come from the north of Ireland, there's a lot of repression there caused by the British government and with the British Army and the 6 counties of Ireland. And me and Raymond, when we sort of had the idea to start a group, thought we've got to reflect the sort of feelings of repression and frustration that a lot of people who live there feel. So we thought if we're going to call ourselves a name, it's got to reflect that kind of that feeling, and that petrol emotion seemed to try and sum that up to a big extent. Petrol bombs. You know, a lot of people it's not just mindless violence that's going on there. There's a lot of people who see no other way of venting their frustration and their anger against the British injustice that happens. That they're forced to use violence to try and get some kind of a change. And with that name, it's supposed to try and sum that feeling up. We're not necessarily justifying it, but it's very understandable. Repression in Central America, you know,
so
you can't relate it to the international thing as well as a local thing.
I mean, obviously, when we write about it, like the songs they write are obviously about Northern Ireland. Sometimes when I sing about them, I feel that they're applicable to like how I felt growing up in America, knowing that my government had been involved in Vietnam, my government had been involved in, and is still involved in Central America and the Contras and all that stuff. So I mean, I think that the lyrics are applicable to a number of different situations, and that's why we don't like to sloganize in our songs and be, you know, direct in our lyrics, because we want for a lot of people to be able to identify with the lyrical content and to be able to apply it to their situation and human injustice in general, really.
We still regard ourselves as a pop band within that anyway,
yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, we emphasize a beat in a lot of songs. The new songs we're sort of a more dance-orientated sound anyway, you know. It's like, so a lot of people might get turned off with the idea, you know, of this sort of tag that we have of being a political group, because of, like, say, groups like the Redskins or Billy Bragg aren't exactly quite, you know, and that sort of music that we like either, you know. You know, we're more sort of like say the Specials or Gil Scott Heron or something that's okay. It's a political message behind it, but it's very up tempo. You know. So
like, you got to get into people's bones, into their bodies first, you know, and then you can start addressing their brains. You've got to make them tap their foot and start dancing, and they go, wow, this is great. And then maybe they'll buy the record, then they'll listen to the record, then they listen to the lyrics, and they think about the lyrics, and then if we put something in the back, then they'll read that, and they'll respect us as musicians first, because that's what we are.
During this concert here, you haven't been able to play on your regular instruments. What happened?
Well, basically the van that we travel around with all our equipment, everything got stolen last night. So we just had to borrow equipment from other people.
Yeah, one of the guitars has a note from someone, like, and I don't know what it says because it's in Danish, but we have to write another note back saying thank you very much to all the people, because without that we wouldn't have been able to play at all. So, but I don't know, we get to buy new guitars now, so it's not too bad.
Didn't you miss any instruments on stage?
Yeah.
We've been using a sampler, and we use a lot of effects in some of the songs now. Recently, we've sort of trying to get our sound a lot more, I don't know, how do you say it?
Just something more interesting. I mean,
yeah.
We've always been...
We want to get away from being regarded as a rock band more so, you know? It's like, or what people would envisage as being a rock band, because we don't really like rock music that much anyway, you know? And so we like using effects and noises, like Per Ruby or Roxy Music, the way they used to do that.
Yeah, Brian Eno, it's just like all his keyboards. And so we bought an old keyboard, this really, really old keyboard that he used to use, and we can't bring it on tour because sometimes it breaks, but we can take the sounds and store them in this box that we have and play them with another keyboard. So we have all these keyboard sounds on the sampler and the drum machine and all these noises that just like during Creeping into the Cross, there's all these sounds coming, and timbales and stuff just coming from everywhere. And so I missed it. You know, I like to hear all that noise when I'm singing. It makes me sing better. But it was good just to play just guitars and drums. You know, it kind of brings you back to when you were sitting in our practice room just playing guitars.
That rawness should always be there on record and live anyway. It's essential for rock and roll, you know. It's one of the most important parts of it.
You know, the spirit. The noise is the spirit. It makes it human because there is noise and there's mistakes in it.
I mean, noisiness is not a regular part of pop music.
It should be, though. Because, you know, everything on the radio now, I don't know what the radio's like here, but the radio in Britain is terrible. It's just like wallpaper.
Yeah, it's
You
awful.
never have to listen to it. It's just like, just keep working, everything's fine. I'll type another letter and I'll be so happy. And we want to just get on the radio and go, so people stop what they're doing and go, what's that? You know? Because music should be exciting. It should make you want to dance and things. It shouldn't be like, if you want to listen to something good, listen to classical, listen to Vivaldi, for God's sakes. You know, I don't want to have pop music. That's boring. That's not what pop music is for me. I'll listen to ambient music or classical guitar or something. But pop music, I want pop music that's going to make me just get up and dance and get sweaty. And when I go home at night, I want to feel good.
That's the manic pop thrill.
That's exactly where that name came from.
Would you ever use any holiday to go to a rock festival?
It depends on who is playing there.